Greetings all, Ferrari-Man 601 here. Welcome back to Flight Simulator 2020, and we are, after quite the hiatus, continuing our little mini-series of finding racetracks around the world in Flight Simulator. Today, we are on the southern coast of Portugal, which can only mean one thing. We're going to find Estoril. No, we're not. We're going to find Portimão, actually, and it's not so much a matter of finding it, because I pretty much know off the runway here, we turn north, and we're going to find it not too far away. So, with all of that in mind, got some power on this thing, both battery buses, avionics. Wait for that to get a hold of itself. There we go. Right. Got a caution warning for pitot heat. Right, let's get some, don't need panel lights, don't need boost pump. However, we do need an engine. Mixture is up, prop feather is up, contact, ignition, all right. Come down to idle, 520, 510, right, check the mags. Left mag drops it down to 480. Right mag down to 470. Left mag again, holding 470, and both bring it back up over 5. Yep. That's all cool. Got our alternator buses up. Showing low volts, probably because of low RPM. Increase the revs, that goes away as expected. Right, pitot heat is on. That's the low volts caution warning. Due to engine RPM, no problem. All right. And back, we've got our flaps down to approach. And there they go. And we should be set to get off here. Parking brakes released, throttle coming up. There we are. Airspeed's alive. Rudder authority is coming in. 60 knots. Let's take it up. There we go. We got a positive climb. Gear. Right. Flaps coming in. Right. So roughly a northerly turn off of the runway, and we should be starting to find where we're looking. Let's just turn it dead north for the moment. Get some altitude and get an idea of where we are. I think my intuition is correct. It's going to be right there behind our A-pillar, as it were. Not far off at all. Looks to be about 2-3 miles. Could be it. Could also not be it. Get some more altitude, get some better lay of the land here. As you can see, we're not far off the coast at all. The ocean is right there. Yet we get into some interesting terrain straight away. So some very cool geography, this part of the world. In fact, sites like these are things that some of the first transatlantic explorers would have seen as they left port. Some of them never to return. However, we hope that we'll return today. Let's see. Showing 1900 above sea level, and I think, yeah, that's it. My instinct was correct. Dead ahead there, 12 o'clock, there is the circuit. Get a sense of what it is we're playing with from above. Direction of travel is going to be heading straight ahead off to our left at the moment, so we'll get lined up with that. First thing we got to determine is where is a suitable spot to put this thing down. right, so I've located start finish. That's good. I'm seeing an obstruction there down start finish. We'll have to get a bit lower to take a better look. But that's absolutely it. No question there. All right. Yep, we've got obstructions down start finish, so no hot laps for us. However, totally recognizable. There's a stupendous looking parking lot. And this place is actually pretty compact. All the depth is in the infield. There's not a whole lot of geographic expansiveness to this place. It's turn 1 with its multiple profiles with the chicane. All right. So the trackside signage in the grandstand there is visible. We immediately start to cut up through the infield. All right. Lots of undulations going on here. Lots of camber changes. Of course, Flight Simulator tends to exaggerate the terrain a little bit at the very close-up, close-in microcosmic scales here. Very interesting. That's start finish again. So you really see that this place has a lot of depth in the infield. Does not really have so much to offer rise over run, as it were. But yeah, there you go. That's the very tight turn. They call it turn 2 or turn 3. I'm not quite sure what they call it. But yeah, that's the turn into the infield. Going up the hill. The infield straight. We are playing with angle of attack here in terms of the stall warning. That's fine. Okay. It's the infield. That circular building there, the cylindrical building, that's there in real life. So they at least got the shape of that correct. It's cool. Interesting. So where can we set this thing down is a better question. Start finish is kind of out because we've got buildings going down it. This little ravine over here, which is no good. The parking lot's an option. The infield straight, is that really an option? Might be. I mean, it's not really a straight, as it were. This might be. Yeah, I think this is going to have to be it. Yeah, we're going to land it on top of the infield here. Looks like we've got some serious undulation to take into account, but we're going to line up and land there. Can't really think of another place to do it. Get a little bit of distance here. We'll be able to line ourselves up, get squared up on approach, and set it down. Take a look around. That's a nice view there, though. That's so cool. There's wind turbines up ahead at 12 o'clock. Yeah. They don't appear to be spinning. Wonder if they were borrowed from Texas. Yeah, I know. It's angle of attack. Don't worry. Right. Gear coming. Can't see if we've got gear down, but I'm going to assume we do. Right. So right here, we're coming down. We got a big rise in the terrain right here. Ground's going to sort of come up to meet us. Okay. Jump on the brakes. Yep, it's coming down to the hairpin. Okay. So that gets us down. Let's go around the hairpin if at all possible. Stay in the direction to travel on the backside. Oof, that's a shelf. It's another shelf coming up, I think. Yeah. All right, we'll just get it squared up here. We'll sort of park adjacent to the cylindrical building, for lack of a better term. Okay. So that's that. Parking brake set. We'll shut the engine down. Right. Clear this thing that always comes up when we shut down avionics or electrical buses. Right. All right, so we're down. Now, what can we see? Well, from the air, we did see that we had instructions down start, finish, straight, and right here. I think we've just confirmed that. We'll get our drone speed to increase a bit so we can get around in less than, 80 days. Here we go. Okay. Start, finish, we can see here that the track surface, in keeping with everything else that we've seen so far, is mostly dirt with some grass and gravel mixed in for good measure. And we have got, let's see, 2 buildings, 8, 10, 12. We got like 20 buildings down the start-finish straight, so obviously the track is blocked, unfortunately. However, where the main pit lane is, we have garages, yes, so that's context correct, but in terms of what it actually looks like, no, there's a stupendous pit building here in reality, and of course it's not modeled. Houses, interesting. That'd be some cool real estate. And then coming down start finish, you can see the pit out here. And then turn 1 with its alternate configuration with the chicane. Cool. Again, though, you get in real close to the ground and you can see it's just all dirt, gravel, and grass, so there's no pavement anywhere. Again, this probably is a byproduct of how the game codes road versus anything else that's not road, because anything that's coded as road, it will randomly spawn vehicle traffic. And obviously, we have not seen any racetracks with vehicle traffic on them, except for this obvious remnant of a car here from the satellite picture. That's camber. This is the left-hander that ascends to the infield straight. It's not nearly as severe in camber like this in reality, but it's clearly identifiable. And this is the view we had when we were coming in and landing here. Cool. Alternate configuration for the hairpin, and then coming down the hairpin proper. Back up the backside, there's the airplane. Coming down through, yeah, the twisty bits. This is flat in a Formula 1 car when you've got it really hooked up. This is not. And then you crest the hill. Car always gets light up here. And this is a bit more of a severe dive in reality than we're seeing here. The topography in terms of how it models elevation change here in the sim, sometimes it's awesome and sometimes it's not. And this is one of the cases where it's really not. Coming up, another tight complex. Really a double apex right-hander here. It's another one that has a steeper dive in reality than it does here. Up to the top, a little bit of a false crest. All right. And then the last complex, which is my favorite on this circuit. You could really just wind the speed up all the way down through here. This is all flat. Pit end is here. The final corner, which does have a lot of elevation change in it. Very cool. It's kind of like what the Turn 13, 14, 15 complex at Catalunya used to be, but this is even better than that ever was. And then back down to start finish straight. Okay. That's not too bad. Obviously recognizable here. Not something that I would say is really authentic in terms of the detailing, but you can see quite obviously as we've pulled out a couple thousand feet away here. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You can really get a sense of how compact this place actually is. It's not a very long circuit, but it does have a lot of hidden depth in terms of how they've routed the road around the terrain here. And it is a lot of, mostly it is natural topography here. And obviously if we pull up, you can see that we've got a lot of varied topography in terms of you've got hilly, slightly even mountainous areas, I would say a little bit further back toward the horizon, but very nicely situated this place is. It's all using the lay of the land to its advantage rather than a lot of the other modern circuits. This place only opened in 2007, 2008, something like that, so it's relatively new still, but it's very much an older style of circuit. They didn't blow the earth to pieces here in trying to find a route of travel. They really respected what was there and used what they had on hand, and I really liked that. And then back to our airplane. We do have enough open space to attempt a partial lap. Obviously, we can't do a complete circuit, but we've got enough available. Try to do something. Right. Alternator up. Keep our flaps retracted. Release the brakes. See what we can get going here. Gonna have a lot of gravitational assist. Airplane's gonna want to roll over a little bit through some of these corners. That'll be okay. Showing 370 feet above sea level here, so we got some decent elevation. I am full right rudder and it's not quite turning. Obviously it's sliding a bit. All right. Right over the top. That's cool, getting some acceleration downhill. Gonna be a bit of a dip. All right. Very cool. Very, very cool. It's a bit of a kink in a race car. In this thing, it's a kink that goes into a tight right-hander. Oof, yeah. Over the crest, up the hill again. Oof. All right, I think I have, yeah. I made a wrong turn, that's fine. You don't exactly have landmarks here to navigate by, so all your visual cues are pretty much gone relative to what you'd get in Assetto Corsa versions of this circuit that I have sampled anyway. Let's find the road again. Okay, this is, yes, this is the road again. Good. I gotta be careful because this is a sheer drop-off directly ahead. Have to turn this thing carefully. All right. Sliding again. There we Okay, lots of understeer in this. It's almost like it's not a race car. Yeah. Okay, good. Brakes are probably on fire by now. Come on, make it around a corner. There we go. Got some trees there. Have to see where they really come in. Yeah, they're off the circuit. We're fine. That said, let's try not to clip them. Yeah. Have a look at this. This is pretty cool. We're on the infield here. Right. Cool. Yeah, you can see that elevation change coming out of the final corner and up to start finish. That's cool. And then obviously our route ahead is blocked. At a rate of climb of 100 feet per minute there. On the ground. And it does show you the elevation change that we have. A bit of a lake there. Some vehicle traffic. That's cool. Coming up to somebody's doorstep. That's cool. I'm going to launch out of the final couple of corners and we'll take off that way in the direction of travel, so we'll turn around again. So we'll turn around. Right. On, turn. It's not like to turn going downhill. I'll tell you that much. I am full right rudder. It is barely turning. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we are not straight and level by any means, but that'll work. And the flaps all the way down. Down. All right, we'll throttle up and then we'll release the brakes so we don't get a rollback. All right, full RPM, brakes released, off we go. .40 knots. All right. We're gonna hit these buildings, aren't we? Nope. Okay, we're good. We're good, barely. Bring the gear up. Bring the flaps partially up. Right. Flaps up the rest of the way. Okay. So we survived. For a split second there, I thought we were dead, but we're not dead. Yay, us. that is the circuit. Decent, on par with what we have seen at the other tracks we visited, but again, we have an overall trend of having these things blocked with buildings or other scenery objects. Just make the thing entirely impassable. So, oh well, but it looks the part. If you were trying to fly in to Faro, down the coast a little bit more, you might see this on a clear day. Look out the window and you'd say, oh, I know what that is. So, good enough. It does its job as a scenery object. Speaking of heading back, where do we fly into? We left from a little strip in Portimão, obviously, but do we go out to Faro or do we figure out another course of action? Get out to the coast. We will see what it does. Trim is way off. Square this thing up a bit more. Okay. Now, how far out are we from a place like Faro, if we want to head out there? Not terribly far at all. Just a question of how much time do we want to spend on the return trip? We can head right out to the coast. Could do something like that. Let's do that instead. That will bring us to Sagres, yeah. So we'll head out there. Cool. What airfield is that, is my question. Guess we're going to find out. Take a look. Or is that an airfield at all? I don't know. We're going to find out. We zoom in a little bit more on our map. Got LPG. LPM. No, we don't have any airfields out there. Okay. Change of plans. Not going to Sagre. We're going to head out to... Come on. Panda map. You can do it. I believe in you. I know Faro is out here. I've flown into there before. Yep. LPFR. That'll do it. So we'll go there instead. Head out there, Faro. So that is going to require a turn eastward. Easily done. And we'll basically just follow the coast for a little bit. That'll be just fine. What a coast it is. Have a look at that. Okay. Nice. Very cool. This is where you don't really notice some of the weirdness that the sim does with the topography, because when you get above everything, there's racetrack, everything just really looks fantastic out here. Very cool. Airplane is not liking the trim settings at these speeds. That's an oh well situation. Auto is not coming up. There we go.
Faro Tower Beechcraft, November 781 Echo X-ray is tree 0 miles west with Whiskey to land.
Where they want us to go.
Beechcraft, November 781
Downwind 28. All right.
Enter left downwind, runway 28. Altimeter 29.9, 2 wind 27, tree at 7.
Enter left downwind runway 28 Beechcraft 1 Echo X-ray.
All right, so we'll be flipping 180 degrees and coming in. It's all very nice. Airplane does want to have a little bit of a right roll dialed in. That is probably fuel tank select. Selected the right tank. Did we just kill the engine by accident here? We might have done. Oh, yes, we did. Right tank. There we go. Okay. We selected off. Even though it was labeled as select right tank in the little cursor menu that comes up. Okay. I am sure that has happened to quite a few people in reality. Well, that is some cool looking real estate. This airplane just likes to roll out to the right for no reason. Can't quite trim it out. Don't have enough granular adjustment in the aileron trim. So hopefully burning out of the right tank a little bit will quiet that down, although we won't be in the air for too much longer anyway. Faro should be more or less directly ahead of us. We can see it on the artificial outside view scope. All of that is well and good. Very pretty pictures. Weird aberrations on the left side of the PFD. Don't know what that's all about. But very cool, nonetheless. Starting to see some Barrier Island activity out there where Faro Airport is. Very cool. Looks like that's all natural. Doesn't look like they built the seawall or anything. Very nice. Got the airport in sight. We're going to want to start descending. There's our runway. It landed in the opposite direction. $4,000. $3,000. Feather the prop all the way back. Be a little kinder to the engine. I'm guessing that this is the airport that all the teams and support personnel will be using to get to Portimão. Because the one actually in town is barely even paved, never mind long enough to support any long-haul aircraft. All right. About 1,000 feet, level off.
Beechcraft 1 Echo, X-ray cleared to land runway 28. Wind 273 at 7.
All right.
Cleared to land runway 28 Beechcraft 1 Echo X-ray.
It'll be a real short final. Yeah, turned a bit tighter than I wanted. That's all right. Gear coming.
500,
We'll just slide in on the glide slope. I'll trust that the gear is down, not getting any check gear warnings. All right. Down. All right. Get off the runway.
Beechcraft 1 Echo, X-ray, turn next taxiway. Beechcraft 1 Echo, X-ray, contact ground on 118.58.
118.58 Beechcraft 1 Echo X-ray. Faro ground Beechcraft November 781 Echo X-ray taxi to parking. Beechcraft November 781 Echo X-ray taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo.
That's a big United 767, I think that is. Product placement.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo Beechcraft 1 Echo X-ray.
Yeah, a whole bunch of GA airplanes and a bus. How about that? There's a TBM 930. There's a 172 Cessna. The TBM 930. I feel inferior all of a sudden with my little Bonanza. All right, all right. Cool. We will shut down. Don't mind if I do. All right. Very cool. Okay. So not only did we find the Portimão circuit, but we made it back to Faro, not Portimão where we took off from. So a different destination than our origin, but whatever. Seems like it falls pretty nicely into the overall plan of racetracks in Flight Simulator. It's there, it's not quite navigable, it's not quite good in terms of rendering the whole thing as grass and gravel, but it's there, it's recognizable, and it's in a really cool looking part of the world in general, I've got to say. So, yep, there it is. That's Portimão in Flight Simulator 2020. It exists, it's recognizable, and all right, it's not half bad, all things considered. Until next time, though, I do hope you've enjoyed this one. Ferrari Man 601 saying thank you very much for watching, and of course, we will see you soon.